Not all heroes wear uniforms. Some are burned, bandaged, and buried under silence. Satomu Yamaguchi was one such man. For decades, his name was unknown beyond his country, but his story, the only person officially recorded to survive both nuclear bombings, defies imagination and reveals the deepest scars of war, not on battlefields, but on bodies and souls. It was a quiet morning in Hiroshima. The sky was blue, the air was warm, and Satomu Yamaguchi was walking to the shipyard, finalizing a 3-month business trip. He was ready to go home to Nagasaki. As he walked, he noticed a bomber flying overhead. Just one. Nothing seemed strange until the sky exploded. At exactly 8:15 a.m., the bomb detonated. A flash brighter than 1,000 suns lit the air. Yamaguchi was thrown backward. His body burned, his ears burst, his eyes stung. In one instant, everything changed. Concrete shattered, glass turned to knives, people turned to shadows, and Hiroshima became a firestorm. Yamaguchi wandered through a broken world. Skinless figures stumbled in silence. Corpses lay everywhere. The air smelled of burning hair and metal. Flames consumed the city. He walked, injured, half blind, barefoot, through shattered glass and twisted beams. His goal was simple: survive. And somehow, through the heat and death, he made it to the station. Incredibly, a train was still running out of Hiroshima. Wounded survivors climbed aboard in silence. Yamaguchi sat among them, trembling, blistered, and dazed. The train carried their broken bodies through the night, far from a city that no longer existed, toward a new one that had no idea what was coming. When he arrived in Nagasaki, Yamaguchi was barely recognizable. His wife, Hisako, was horrified by his injuries, but he had returned alive, and he had a warning. Something is coming. If it happens here, don't stay indoors. Find shelter. Hide in the tunnels. She listened, without questioning, without doubting, and that saved their lives. Despite his wounds, Yamaguchi returned to work at Mitsubishi. On August 9th, his boss dismissed his story as nonsense. A single bomb can't destroy a whole city. Yamaguchi tried to explain. He begged them to believe, but no one could comprehend what he had seen until it happened again. At 11:02 a.m., just as he stood in the office trying to explain the horror, the second bomb exploded over Nagasaki. This time it was Fat Man, another mushroom cloud, another instant apocalypse. Yamaguchi was thrown to the ground again. The sound, the heat, the pressure, it all returned. And once more, he survived. His house was gone. The neighborhood was flattened. But Hisako and their baby boy had listened. They were deep in a tunnel, hiding, exactly where he told them to go. They lived not by chance but by his warning. Yamaguchi collapsed in front of them, not from pain, but from overwhelming relief. After 2 nuclear blasts, there was no celebration, no strength to rejoice, just silence. The silence of trauma, of memories too heavy to speak. Yamaguchi's body was scorched, but what hurt more was what he carried inside. He had seen 2 cities vanish. He had watched the sky fall twice. Radiation sickness set in slowly. Fever, vomiting, dizziness, hair loss. But it wasn't just sickness, it was confusion. Doctors didn't understand radiation. People thought it was contagious. Survivors were treated like lepers. And Yamaguchi, like many Hibakusha, learned to keep his suffering hidden behind closed doors. Being a survivor wasn't something to be proud of in post-war Japan. Employers rejected Hibakusha. Insurance companies refused to cover them. People feared their children would be damaged. Survivors were shunned. Yamaguchi was one of them. So he remained silent. He worked. He lived. He remembered but told no one. He raised his son with love, but never told him the truth. He watched the boy grow, laugh, dream, all the while knowing how close he had come to dying before he could speak his first word. His scars were visible, but his son only saw the smile, never the scream behind it. For over 60 years, Yamaguchi lived quietly in Nagasaki. He never tried to be known, never tried to be heard. He lived with his pain, and he believed maybe silence was safer. But deep inside, he knew memory buried too deep turns into a weapon. In the early 2000s, Yamaguchi began to speak publicly. He gave talks, wrote letters, and in 2006, testified at the United Nations. He said, "I am not angry, but I remember, and I beg you, never allow this to happen again." The room fell silent. Even world leaders had no words. In 2009, the Japanese government officially recognized Satomu Yamaguchi as the only documented survivor of both bombings. He accepted the recognition humbly. "I don't want fame," he said. "I want the world to learn. I survived, so I could remember for those who didn't." He passed away on January 4, 2010, at the age of 93. He died in peace, in his bed, with family, not in flame, not in ash, but with memory. His final years had been spent telling the world, "Peace is not given, it must be chosen," again and again. Yamaguchi left no monuments, no riches, just a story, a warning carved into time. His name is a footnote in textbooks, but his life is a message. Weapons that erase cities will never protect them. And silence, no matter how deep, cannot outlive truth. 2 bombs, 2 cities, 1 man. Satomu Yamaguchi carried in his soul the weight of 200,000 deaths. But he never spoke of vengeance. He spoke of hope. He believed that remembering was the most powerful form of resistance, and forgetting the greatest danger of all. This is not just a story about survival. It is a testimony, a mirror, a question. What do we do with the stories of those who burned, but lived? We share them, we carry them, and we promise them, silently or aloud, never again. If this story touched you, don't let it be forgotten. Share it, subscribe, and help ensure that the voices of survivors continue to echo until the world learns to listen.